Pastor Roy Gerhardt from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. There are a lot of things in life that divide us up. Financial status, political status, whether you're popular or not, whether you're handsome, good-looking, or intelligent. There are all kinds of things that will divide us, that will make us feel like we don't fit in this group, we fit in over here. And those things will separate and isolate us and even put us at odds with each other. And then there are things that happen that are great levelers. These events that happen and these forces at work that level the playing field out, and all of a sudden can bring people together without any regard for all of those status issues that would otherwise divide us and keep us apart. In fact, crises will often do that. Great times of need that will throw people together who normally wouldn't even sit together, and suddenly there they are in that common need, working together, helping each other, and suddenly we are united and experiencing a humanity that is so beautiful and is so wonderful that we wonder, why don't we live like this all the time? Why do we let these things divide us up this way? That great leveling effect can be very powerful in a really wonderful way. I think about that with the story of Jairus that we looked at this past Sunday. We're looking for this hope that would really be able to bring us together and bring forth that kind of humanity that we're talking about. And Jairus' situation is a situation that I think does that and puts on display the great power of God. Jairus came to Jesus because his daughter was dying, and he came upon this crowd that was following Jesus. A whole crowd had been brought together. Why? Because people have so many needs. And when you have needs, whether it's a physical need or spiritual need or something that brings you to that point of crisis, then all of a sudden, things like status and stuff like that can be thrown out the window. Desperation will drive us to seek help, even to our own shame. I mean, and there's some ways in which I wonder if Jairus is seeking Jesus in just that way. The one thing that we're told about Jairus is that he is a synagogue leader in this community. That makes him, at least amongst those Jewish people, a man of some status. He has a position of influence. Other people, even if they're not close to him, they're going to know that about him. They're going to recognize him. And for some people, knowing that about him that'll be the reason that they don't like him. But he's a man with certain status that we're told about. It might be tempting then to look at what Jesus does in agreeing to go with him to his home, leaving this crowd of people behind, as a status move. You know, that this guy's important, I've got to go with him. That's the way many of us think. And we suppose that that's what's influencing Jesus. But don't forget this. As Jesus began to go with Jairus, there was a woman who came up and touched Jesus, barely touched him. Remember, she just touched like the hem of his garment. And so this woman barely touched him in the crowd, and yet Jesus felt power go from him to heal her. And he stopped and found her, wanted to identify her and affirm her that her faith had made her whole. This interrupts the whole process for Jairus. And I look at that and I think, man, this is a moment that has brought together all kinds of different people with their need focused on Jesus. And in reality, this is the kind of thing that God brings us together in. And in the church, we can experience this, where the need for that spiritual connection with God, that need for a healing and a wholeness within our soul is so deep and so real that it is a great leveler. Because it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, you need God. It doesn't matter whether you're popular, smart, beautiful, or ugly and a loser. You need God. That's the thing, that Jesus is this great leveler with people, because he brings us together in a situation where our other statuses just don't count. They don't matter. We all have that need that drives us to God. But the other great leveler, and you got to see this, it's love. Jesus has a love that he's willing to care for anyone in that crowd and everyone in that crowd. And his status that makes them important in the world doesn't matter to him. He is reaching out to people with a love that is a leveler. That he loves us no matter what our status, no matter what our popularity, no matter what our ability, and even no matter what our failings. He loves us. That's the great leveler that allows us to experience God's grace in its fullness and to live it in its goodness. May God bless you today. And as you share his good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.